You fight and fear your symptoms. This is a completely natural response to discomfort, but it keeps our nervous system revved up and it fuels chronic fatigue, pain, and other neuroplastic conditions. Hi, and welcome, friends. I'm Rebecca Tolin, a mind body coach and the creator of the Be Your Own Medicine course. Here we unpack how to recover from CFS, long COVID, and other chronic symptoms and live a meaningful life. Today, I'm posing a powerful question in your recovery. How are you relating to the present moment? Are you accepting it or resisting it? I invite you to tune into your body right now in response to this question. What's my relationship to my body in the present moment? Notice any sensations present in your body, tension or relaxation, alertness or drowsiness, comfort or discomfort. There is no right or wrong response. You're just noticing sensations in your body. Now, your first point of power is observation. Instead of being overtaken by fear-based thoughts, notice your tendencies. Do you get impatient with your pain? Do you collapse into fear? Or can you hold your suffering with compassion? I once fought, feared, and fixated on my symptoms endlessly because I thought this strategy would solve my problems. It had worked with other things, but instead it made my symptoms worse. I experienced over 13 years of ME/CFS, insomnia, fibromyalgia, migraines, and interstitial cystitis, to name a few. But I finally overcame them when I shifted my relationship to the present moment. Specifically, I started accepting my body with all its abilities and all its limitations. Is this easy? No, it's certainly not. Is it simple? Yes, it is. And most importantly, it is possible for you, for me, and anyone who commits to becoming aware of how we're relating to ourselves right now. So, in a paradox, one of the best ways to resolve your symptoms is to be indifferent to them. Psychologist Alan Gordon calls this outcome independence. This means your definition of success isn't based on whether or not you have symptoms. It's based on how much you're accepting and even enjoying the moment, even if you have sensations. Alan Gordon likens this to this scene in the movie Dead Poet Society. So there's a guy who has a big crush on a girl from a nearby school. He's absolutely terrified to ask her out, but he decides to go for it anyway. Sometime later, he returns to his friends, beaming with joy, but he's got a black eye. He tells his friends the girl said no and her boyfriend punched him in the face. So, of course, his friends asked, "Why on earth are you happy?" Because I asked. That's what he said, because I asked. So he wasn't overjoyed by the outcome, but he was proud despite the outcome. And this is the same spirit we want to bring to our symptoms. Think about how outcome independent you are with your symptoms. So, say you challenge yourself and take a walk or do some other activity that triggers your symptoms. Do you resist those symptoms and think that you failed because they flared up? This keeps our brain's danger alarm activated, and this actually fuels the symptoms. So instead, try telling yourself it doesn't matter what happens with the symptoms. They are not a reflection of danger nor of your progress. What matters really is that you accept and love your body as it is. Okay, imagine a teeter-totter. It's like one of those old school toys on a playground. And on one side of this teeter-totter is an angry, hopeless, and scared creature. I do not want to play on this playground. Thank you very much. It pouts and it drops to the ground. On the other side is a curious, compassionate, and courageous creature. Its circumstances are exactly the same, but it's allowing life to be lifey. as it does. So instead, this being looks skyward, it looks up at the sun, and then it tilts up in the air. Which of these two do you want to be? The heavy one or the light one? The one who focuses on problems all the time, or the one who finds enjoyment and peace anyway? We each have these two polarities inside us, acceptance and resistance. One goes up and the other goes down. It's also a spectrum, so we can be accepting our symptoms, say 75%, and resisting them 25%. That's actually not a bad ratio. The more we accept, the less we suffer mentally and emotionally. In time, this turns down our symptoms. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're resisting because it's an ingrained habit. In fact, much of the time. So, what does resistance look like? Well, muscle tension. We clench muscles in an effort to control our body and our life. We tense up in response to stress to armor ourselves. When we tense, we can't feel our emotions, and it also hampers the flow of energy inside us. Another form of resistance is overthinking, worrying, ruminating, catastrophizing, or even generalizing. Things like, I'll never recover. I just don't have what it takes. I'm too wounded, too weak, too old, too fill in the blank. Believe me, I know these thoughts all too well, my friend, because I've been there. But we avoid feeling our emotions through overthinking. Now, as you may know, repressed emotions are a root cause of mind-body symptoms. So we want to accept, allow, and acknowledge that they exist. I might say to myself, a part of me is really scared right now. So say I'm having symptoms or I really am just feeling fear, I would be talking to myself and saying, I'm here and I care about the suffering. I'm not going to leave you. I accept you and I love you. Now, this is an example of a self-compassionate dialogue and a form of deep acceptance. You want to find the words that work for you. These are words that work for me, and it took a long time to shift from a really self-critical dialogue where I beat myself up every day when I had symptoms to one that was really kind and compassionate, but it was a core part of my recovery. And it also makes the journey so much more tender and soft. Now, I also want to say that denial is not acceptance. People often think if they push down their feelings and their needs, they won't exist. But that just puts tremendous strain on our psyche. Our subconscious brain is trying to reconcile these feelings. It senses that something is not okay, not because we have sensations or emotions, but because we're fighting and fearing them. In response, our subconscious brain tries to warn us of danger, but it can't communicate in words, so it communicates in symptoms. Red alert, we get bloating or brain fog or dizziness. Now, if we fear, fight, and fixate on those symptoms, we stay trapped in the stress symptom loop. We're essentially telling our subconscious brain, I am in danger. Resistance to the way our body feels in this moment does not create feelings of safety. And that's what we need to recover from chronic symptoms like CFS, long COVID, digestive issues, and anxiety. We need to feel a sense of somatic safety. Okay, so how do we achieve this? We accept our symptoms in this moment. Now, this does not mean we like them or that we want them. I mean, who likes pain? But as Byron Katie says, when you argue with reality, you lose, but only 100% of the time. Now, if acceptance sounds like a ridiculous idea, I get it. I would have completely agreed with you during most of my symptomatic years until I really got tired of beating my head against the wall and causing myself more suffering. I started seeing my situation for what it was while realizing that it was temporary. It's here now, but it will pass, Just like everything else, the one thing we can be assured of is change. And when we acknowledge the emotions beneath our suffering, we feel what we've been trying to avoid. This frees up so much energy. It actually takes a lot of energy in our psyche to hold down all those emotions. But how do we make this pivot? Okay, so we acknowledge our suffering, we soften into the sensations in our body, we offer ourselves compassionate words, and we ask ourselves what we need to feel safer. So for more on these steps, you might watch my video, 3 Simple Steps You Need to Recover. Again, let's check in right now. What's your relationship with the present moment? Are you accepting or resisting your experience? Tune into your body to see where you're tensing and whether you can soften just a little bit more. Also, notice your mind. Is it generating thoughts that make you feel better or thoughts that make you feel worse? There's no judgment here. We just notice our tendencies in this moment and in this one. Viktor Frankl wrote, "Between the stimulus and the response, there is a space. And in that space is your power and your freedom." So I invite you to ask these questions throughout your day. How am I relating to the present moment? Am I accepting it or am I resisting it? And how might I move into acceptance? Look, resistance is just an old habit that we've learned from our past experiences. We rewrite our neural pathways one thought, feeling, and breath at a time. I hope this video is helpful for you. I would love to hear about your experience. How do you accept your symptoms and how do you resist them? Let me know what you got from this video in the comments and remember to subscribe to my channel for more healing content. Thank you so much for being here and devoting yourself to deep healing. I send you off with heaps of love and acceptance.